After watching this video, you'll never have to dread writing an opening scene again. Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel. So in my video on common writing mistakes, which I will link up in the cards for you guys, I think it's on this side, I mentioned that a lot of writers struggle under the pressure of writing a great opening line, and they end up writing a first sentence that is very disjointed from the rest of their book. Instead, I recommend focusing on writing a great first scene. And here are 5 tips on how to do just that. So my first tip is to use the 5 W's, which is what, when, where, why, and who. Now this may sound a little bit like a high school essay lesson or learning how to write a newspaper article, but just hear me out. People are going to read your first scene and judge your book by it. They're going to decide whether to continue with this book from what they read in that first scene. So you have to give them a relatively good idea of what the story is about and what they can expect. Now this doesn't mean trying to summarize everything or giving a lot of exposition, telling them all of your secrets and plot twists. It means showing them where the book is going to take place. So you have to introduce some form of setting that is going to be important in your book moving forward. You have to give them a character to root for. That's your who. You have to give some kind of indication as to when this is all taking place. You have to introduce the action in the book, so that is your what, and then you also have to introduce some character motivation, which is your why. Why is this particular character doing this particular thing? Where are they and when are they doing it? So this doesn't mean that you have to give a like newspaper article expose type of thing, like character X is in location Y doing activity B because of reason A. It just means that when you write that first scene, you have to keep these things in mind so that you can maybe just hint at these things. It doesn't have to be obvious. It just has to introduce the character to these 5 very important questions. Next up, we're talking about in medias res, or in media res. There are different pronunciations. So this means starting your novel in the middle of the action, and the action usually refers to the inciting incident, which is the moment where your character's life starts to change, the thing that sets off the action for the novel. Now this can be a great way to open right in the thick of it, but it has to be done with caution. Your readers aren't going to care about a scene that is smack bang in the middle of the action if they don't know the character, if they don't have a reason to root for them. They're just going to feel like, who is this? What is going on? Why do I care? So my advice would be to bring in the inciting incident or the action as soon as your character has been established. So this will vary for every book. Some characters take a sentence or 2 to become endearing, to have the reader root for them. Some take a chapter or so. So just wait until you know that your character has been established. Your reader will now root for this character when the action comes, and then you write your inciting incident. So like I said, with an opening scene, you can either have an opening scene that first establishes character, or you can maybe have an opening paragraph that is very strong at making that character relatable or endearing to the reader, and then dive right into the action. Some writers start their book with dialogue. This is a good idea, but it does have its pitfalls. The same as with in medias res. If your reader is just thrown into a scene of dialogue without any context, they will be very confused and they really won't care and will lose interest. So once again, your reader will only care about the conversation if they have some reason to care a little bit about these characters, and that requires establishing those 5 W's that I mentioned in the beginning. So you can weave this throughout. You don't have to slap your reader with the 5 W's right at the beginning before you head into dialogue. It might be a good idea to have your opening line be dialogue and then take a paragraph or 2 of narration to just orient the reader. Don't just throw them into pages and pages of dialogue between characters they've never met about things they know nothing about. Then there are also some things that you shouldn't open your novel with. Now, this isn't telling you what to do. I'm just saying that there are some openings that agents will probably reject when they read it, and that readers will feel is a bit of a cliche. Things like opening with the weather, opening with your character looking in a mirror, opening with your character getting ready for the day with nothing exciting or interesting happening, or pages and pages of ordinary life with no indication of what the story is about. These are just things that have been done so many times that no one really wants to read it anymore. But you know, if you can find a way to make it incredibly interesting, you are welcome to try. I'm just saying these are some things that industry professionals will see and think are a little bit amateurish. And as usual, my final tip deals a little bit with morale, and that is to breathe. I know you're stressing about your opening scene. As writers, we tend to do that. I also stress about how I'm going to start my book. Are people going to pick this up and be blown away? But your opening scene is just another scene. Yes, it is incredibly important. Yes, people are going to judge your book by it, but if you can write another scene, you can write an opening scene. You just have to introduce the reader to what the story is about and give them a character to care for. The rest of your book is just as important, and I promise you that if you can write the rest of a book, you can write the opening scene. So those are some of my tips for starting your novel, writing an opening scene. These are just some of the ways that you can do it, but I would really suggest taking on board the 5 W's. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like this type of content. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want writing advice videos every single Friday and tons of bonus content. Also, if you don't want to miss an update, ring that little bell so you get an email notification to your inbox as soon as I upload. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!